can I tell you? It's a new shofar that I had to buy without trying it out. You don't usually want to buy a shofar without having a chance to try it out. But in these days, I had to order one online, and I got what I got. So it is. We continue with our 3-minute daily dose of Torah, analyzing the question of why shofar wasn't allowed to be blown on Shabbos. We've spent the past 2 days talking about the first opinion offered in the Gemara, and apparently the one that is adopted in the Yerushalmi that I didn't look at, that it's based on verses of the Torah, that when Shabbos comes along, Zichron Trua, it's the only day of commemorating the Trua. But the Gemara goes on to offer a different explanation, and here it is, Tana de Shmuel. It was taught in the name of Shmuel. I got to move this camera across. Kol melechas avodah lo tasu yatzad shofar v'dias apashi chochma ben malacha. Blowing shofar isn't a malacha on Shabbos. It's just called a chochma, a skill, not a labor. And so you can't make it prohibited min ha-Torah. There's not a basis upon to say the Torah would prohibit it, but rather Rava says it is allowed from the Torah, and the Rabbanan hu de gazer be. The rabbis came along and made a gezerah, a decree, a protective decree. The Rabbah, in line with the teaching of Rabbah, the Amar Rabbah, hakol chayvim t'kiyah shofar. Everyone's obligated to hear shofar, but not everyone is expert in blowing the shofar, and we're afraid. And therefore we make a decree. We are afraid that a person might pick up that shofar because he's anxious about inability to blow shofar, and it's Rosh Hashanah day, and it's Shabbos day, and he'll transgress the rules of carrying in the public sphere to bring it to someone who's going to help him blow shofar. That's what he says. That is just so fascinating, right? It's you would say, come on, really? People are going to do that? People are going to break Shabbos to blow the shofar? And the answer is, yeah. Well, if shofar blowing is something that we hold so dear, and we believe it's the way in which we're going to reach out to God, that we might sort of push aside things such as carrying on Shabbos. We have an Eruv here, so we don't even think in these terms. But if you don't have an Eruv, somehow carrying with people made light of it. And the rabbi said, we can't allow that. And see how powerful that is, right? It's the power of Shabbos. The rabbi said Shabbos is so important that we're going to let Shabbos push aside the gift of blowing shofar. And again, I don't know, would they have made this decree in the period of time when there was actually only one day of Rosh Hashanah, and people would actually miss shofar blowing altogether because of this rabbinic protective decree? I don't know the answer to that question, because and by the time you get to these stages, it's already after the institution of a 2-day Rosh Hashanah, and so there was an understanding. Okay, you'll miss shofar blowing that first day. At least you hear it the second day, and that's how it's left. But we walk away from this, though, appreciating that however much we invest in the importance of sounding that shofar, we invest even more in the sanctity of the Shabbos and ensuring that the Jew wants to come before God on Rosh Hashanah, having never trespassed the power and meaning of the Shabbos in order to accomplish the other task of shofar blowing. We should appreciate the power of the Sabbath, even on a Rosh Hashanah, even if it means a silent shofar, because Shabbos is so dear. And this Rosh Hashanah, when we will not hear the sound of the shofar, will suffice with the memory of the shofar as we keep Shabbos in its purest and most hallowed state. Have a great day.